The chandeliers sparkled like nothing bad had ever happened under their glow. The marble floors reflected wealth, power, and prestige. The Grand Plaza Hotel prided itself on excellence. 5 stars, international clientele, and a reputation built on exclusivity. But that night, something shattered behind the gold-trimmed front desk. A man in a tailored black leather jacket stood in the center of the lobby, calm yet restrained, literally. 2 uniformed officers held his arms as guests whispered and staff watched with tight smiles. Minutes earlier, he had been denied room service. Minutes later, ownership documents would surface. And by the end of the night, careers would collapse under the very chandelier that once symbolized untouchable authority. If you believe justice always finds its way to the light, make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe to Black Legacy, because tonight's story proves that dignity cannot be denied forever. The Grand Plaza Hotel sat in the heart of downtown, like a monument to inherited power. Gold inlays framed its entrance. Valets opened doors before guests even touched the handle. Crystal chandeliers bathed the lobby in soft brilliance, and the scent of imported orchids lingered in the air. It was the kind of place where assumptions were made quickly about status, wealth, and belonging. Marcus Ellington had built his life on defying assumptions. He wasn't born into wealth. He wasn't handed opportunities. Raised by a single mother who worked double shifts at a nursing home, Marcus learned early that the world often judged before it listened. He learned to speak calmly when disrespected, to dress impeccably when underestimated, to prepare twice as hard when doors were half open. By 38, Marcus had become the CEO of a rapidly expanding hospitality investment firm. Quietly strategic, calculated, disciplined, he believed in acquisition through patience. He believed in transforming broken systems rather than arguing with them. What very few people knew was that 3 months earlier, his company had finalized a confidential acquisition deal involving several luxury properties, including the Grand Plaza Hotel. The transition had not yet been announced publicly. Contracts were signed, ownership had shifted, but operations remained under the old executive team until a formal reveal. Marcus preferred to see things for himself before making changes. That evening, he checked into the Grand Plaza without announcing who he was. He wanted to experience the service as any other guest would. He arrived alone, carrying only a slim leather briefcase. No entourage, no media, no introduction. At the front desk stood Vanessa Whitmore, the hotel's long-standing general manager. Polished, impeccable, known for running a tight ship. Her reputation for maintaining standards was praised by ownership for years. She looked Marcus up and down in a glance, so quick it almost went unnoticed. Almost. His reservation was valid. A presidential suite, prepaid. Still, her tone shifted. There was a slight delay, a questioning look at the ID, a polite smile that didn't reach her eyes. Eventually, he received his key. Upstairs, the suite was pristine. City skyline stretching across floor-to-ceiling windows. Italian marble bathroom. Silk drapes. A welcome tray of sparkling water and fruit. Marcus worked for hours reviewing documents. Around 9:30 p.m., he placed a room service order. Simple. Steak. Sparkling water. No substitutions. 40 minutes passed. No knock. He called again. This time, the voice on the line felt colder. His order had been misplaced. It would take another hour. An hour passed. Still nothing. When he called the third time, the explanation shifted. Room service had closed early, which was strange, because the hotel advertised 24-hour dining. Marcus didn't raise his voice. He simply put on his jacket and took the elevator down. The lobby buzzed softly with late arrivals and business travelers. He approached the desk calmly. Vanessa Whitmore stood there, posture rigid. She informed him, in a carefully controlled tone, that certain services required verification. Verification. Marcus asked what that meant. She didn't clarify directly. Instead, she implied concerns about billing consistency and guest profile alignment. Guests nearby began to glance over. Marcus remained steady. He asked again about his room service order. Vanessa's smile hardened. Security was called, not for shouting, not for aggression, for disturbance. 2 uniformed officers arrived. The hotel had strong ties with local law enforcement, often hiring off-duty officers for guest safety. Within minutes, Marcus found himself being physically restrained in the center of the marble lobby, as if requesting advertised service was a crime. Phones came out. Staff whispered. Vanessa folded her arms. And that was the exact image frozen in your thumbnail moment. The CEO held by officers, the manager standing confidently, unaware that the balance of power had already shifted. The officers asked questions. Marcus answered calmly. He provided ID, provided confirmation emails, provided the room key. Still, Vanessa insisted there had been a mistake in classification. Classification. The word echoed. Guests were now openly watching. A junior employee in the background hesitated, clearly uncomfortable. Another staff member quietly recorded on her phone. Marcus could feel the weight of humiliation pressing against years of discipline, but he did not resist. He simply requested one phone call. The officers allowed it. Marcus dialed his executive legal advisor. Within minutes, a conference call was initiated that included the board chairman of Ellington Hospitality Holdings, the newly registered owner of the Grand Plaza Hotel. Ownership documents were emailed directly to the officer's department address and to Vanessa's corporate inbox. The officer's grip loosened. Vanessa's confident expression faltered for the first time that evening. She refreshed her email, and there it was, a formal notice dated 3 months prior. The hotel no longer belonged to the previous investors. It belonged to Marcus Ellington, the man she had publicly humiliated, the man she had accused without evidence, the man currently standing in handcuffs beneath her chandelier. The lobby went silent. The officer stepped back immediately. Marcus adjusted his jacket slowly, not angrily, not triumphantly, but deliberately. Vanessa attempted to speak, but her composure had cracked. Her authority evaporated under fluorescent truth. Marcus did not shout. He did not threaten. He simply requested the entire executive staff assemble in the lobby immediately. Within 20 minutes, department heads stood in a nervous line beneath the glittering lights. Marcus introduced himself formally. Ownership confirmation displayed on the large lobby screen. He detailed the incident clinically. Denial of service, escalation without cause, discriminatory undertones masked as verification. He explained that leadership is measured by how you treat individuals when you believe they have no power. Then he made his decision. Effective immediately, the general manager and any staff directly responsible for discriminatory practices were terminated pending full investigation, not out of revenge, out of accountability. The same marble floor that reflected humiliation now reflected consequence. In the weeks that followed, the Grand Plaza underwent a transformation. Mandatory bias training was implemented. Policies were rewritten. Community outreach initiatives began. Hiring practices were audited. Marcus did not publicize the event for revenge headlines, but the story leaked, because injustice rarely stays hidden when corrected publicly. The junior employee who recorded that night later said it changed how she understood leadership. Guests who witnessed the incident began speaking about dignity instead of gossip. And the chandeliers still shine, but now they illuminate a lobby that understands respect is not optional. Marcus never ordered that steak again. He didn't need to. The message had already been served. Sometimes power whispers until it must speak. Sometimes the person you underestimate is the one holding the pen that signs your future. And if this story reminded you that dignity is non-negotiable, make sure you like, share, comment your thoughts below, and subscribe to Black Legacy, because stories like this deserve to be seen, heard, and remembered.